G Nation, it's your host G, and we got a brand new character to preview. This time it is Veer the Lion. He's a powerhouse. We got the trial on right now, and he's going to be officially released on Friday. Details of which we don't have yet, but it's going to be a feud. Now, if we have a look at the card, the trainer ability is Leech Gems do 125% more damage, and Green Gems do 25% more damage. So I can definitely see that coming handy, especially the Leech part. Having both the Leech and the Green, maybe that's going to be for another character that's going to connect to it throughout the month. I don't remember like that, a character that uses both Green and Leech. But yeah, Leech for sure. He has links with Modern Era and One Gear. Now, first moveset we're going to have a look at is the $1 Million Arm, 10 MP red move. Finisher deals 232.4k damage, make 30 blast gem into purple gems and pin the opponent. The shoulder block, 4 MP purple move, deal 52.7k damage and choose 3 gems to make into 3-turn Juggernaut gem that will deal 108k damage on every countdown turn and make 9 random gems into blast gem at the end of the countdown. The cervical clutch, 7 MP purple move, color submission, place 8 submission gems and do 143k damage for 3 turns while submission gems are on the gem board. Sub gems turn into red gems. Now, even though it's kind of formulated as if the gems turn into red at the end, it's not the case. It's a color submission, which means that it will turn into red right away, not in the end. Like, it's kind of formulated weird. That's why I'm specifying it. The trainers we're going to be using woods to start with more purples. I'm putting in Bradshaw here just so that the blast gem do 100% more damage, since we're going to be converting a lot of those. Also putting Sammy here so that blast gem do 50% more damage. And I got Hogan here just so that the extra damage we're going to get from all those colored gems, since we're going to be blowing up a lot of things. The one thing I am kind of worried about, because I haven't actually tried this yet, is the fact that, well, first, there's no other move that generate blast gem. So the fact that we got a finisher that made 30 blasts into purple means you pretty much need to use that with the shoulder block. But the downside is that it is a 3-turn Juggernaut gem that make them at the end. That means we are not going to be using the finisher and blowing things up until the 4th turn, which is very far ahead. Like, actually, unless something goes wrong, by the 4th turn, he's probably going to be dead. I mean, obviously, we're going to have the submission that's going to help us to prevent him to hurt us during the 3 turns until we get our 4th. So being alive will not be a problem. The downside is that we're probably going to have it done a ton, especially since it's a pretty powerful sub to begin with. We're probably going to have done quite a bit of damage by the time we reach that, and we're probably not going to need that big of a finisher. So, not sure I like that, but we'll give it a shot. I mean, I might be wrong. On the belt here, I'm putting the All Art plate, which is whenever you generate 3 or more sub gem, increase your green gem damage and purple gem damage by 100% for 2 turns. Now again, gotta be careful with that, because it is for 2 turns, and or submission, if you get it out on the 1st turn, well, that means it's going to last until turn 3, but our stuff's not going to blow up until turn 4. So you either got to wait a turn before you use a submission if you want it to be available for the finisher, or you got to reload your submission at some point during the 3 turns before the 4th one go off. That's something you got to think of. Other than that, all my gems, my medals, I put in Fury 2s. So let's give that a shot. We'll see how it goes. I do have purples here. Now, they might not be available later, but what I'm gonna try to do here is hopefully, instead of using my submission, because anyway he's not going to be ready next turn, I'm going to hope for an extra turn here. Perfect. So we got one turn that's already out. I'm going to put 3 more. Now, I'm not going to use the sub again, because, again, he's... actually, he's going to have his green ready. That's going to give him 3 black, and he will be ready. Alright, so we're going to use a submission. I only need 1 match, so we don't need to overdo this. Put it here. Alright, so next turn it's gonna go off. Unfortunately, he does have his green move ready now. Get some purple. They're gonna go off on my turn. Which unfortunately I might get pinned. Or not. Alright, so now we have a whole lot of those blast gems. I'm gonna add those. I'm gonna try to put them... Do we even have spots that are not gonna get blown up? Not really. I got some blast gems pretty much everywhere, so whatever. Let's put them there. He has 1.3 million left. Now we're gonna use the finisher, turn pretty much all of those into purples. That didn't match much, and actually only did 1.2 million. Alright, that worked pretty well, although getting 1.2 million after waiting for 4 turns to get it out is kind of underwhelming a bit. Let's look for something better. Alright, second move set. This time it's going to be 3 different moves. We're going to be using the standing hip drop, 8 MP red move, deal 123.8k damage and make 25 X break gems into yellow gem. The sidewalk slam, 7 MP yellow move, deal 198.7k damage and choose a 6x1 area to make into snowfall gems, which will modify all gems below it into X break gems when broken by you. And the leaping elbow drop, 7 MP yellow move, deal 188.1k damage and choose a 5x1 area to swap into red gems. Now you don't really need the red move here because we're going to make so many X gem, you're obviously going to have somewhere a match you can do that will blow them all. Obviously it's going to do more damage if we convert them all of them into yellow, but I might try this moveset with a different move than the red after this. Now, trainers we're going to be using Kofi so that we start with more yellow, obviously. I put in Anki Man so that our X breaks are going to do 50% more damage. I'm putting also Olas so that my X break are doing 100% more damage. And I keep Ogun here just for the extra 2200 of any damage. You could use, who is it? I don't remember. There's another X gem trainer. I think it's flat damage though. Yeah, Vince X break do 22 more damage, but why would you take just X break do 2200 when you can have all gem do 2200 more with Ogun? So that's why I'm going with Ogun. As far as the belt, I haven't changed anything. Let's check. There's maybe something else. I don't remember. The one for X, is it the braid, I think? Let me double check. Whenever you make 6 or more, yeah. So we're going to be using the braid for that. which is whenever you make 6 or more X break gems, increase all of your gem damage by 100% for 2 turns. That's going to be pretty good for that. Okay, let's try again versus Rocky. Right. So we don't have a red on the top row. Ideally, it would be nice if you have a red on either extremities of the top row, because we're gonna make a 6x1, but we're only breaking 5. So even if I put it here, I would still not be able to get a red. Like, I would have to put it down here so that I can connect with that extra one there, but we're obviously not gonna do that because that's way too low. We're gonna put it right up here. Now we're gonna put our 5x1. Now here's the thing. Doing this will break them and it's gonna drop all the X gem below. But it's also gonna create a wild card, which means that if the wild card drop, for example here, it's gonna blow them up all this round anyway, and we're not gonna get much use out of the red. If nothing cascades and it stops there, then we can use the red and make all of them into yellow. So either way, it's all gonna blow up, but I don't know if it's gonna blow up with the red move or on its own with this. Let's see. Oh, we did get a small cascade, but it did not blow up. Perfect. So, well, we will now. How much is a yellow doing right now? 39k with a yellow. Red is our main color here. Red is doing 56k. But now we're going to be replacing all of those, like for example, the purple at 48. This one 38. Actually, the yellows are doing the lesser here. Like the reds and the purple are doing better, and the greens are doing the same. So basically only the blacks are doing less, and the blues. Like black and blues are doing less, the rest is the same. And if you check the amount of black and blues in here, I'm not gonna benefit that much from making them all yellows, really. That makes me even more want to try a different move instead of this one. Still did 2 million with the braid. Alright, so this works pretty fine. Definitely faster than the first one with bigger result too. You don't have the safeness of the of having the submission. Maybe we can try with the submission. Let's check. Actually, before we try with the submission, we're going to try the exact same moveset, although we're going to use the other red move, the diving elbow drop. It is an 8 MP red move, deal 255.2k damage, and choose 3 rows to destroy. We'll play a little similar, although I'm going to try it in a different order, keeping the exact same trainers, keeping also the exact same setup for the belt, just switching one move. All right. Now you can play this two-way. You can play either like we did previously, where you lay your Snowfall gems and then you break them with the red. It puts all the X's down, and then you can break them with the with this move that will destroy rows. Or you could just lay down your reds first. That will load your red move. Then you put your Snowfall on the top. Obviously, if you lay your red, don't lay them on the first, because if you lay it on the first line, then you're going to have a wild card there, and that's going to replace one of those Snowfalls. So you want to do it on the second row. So after you lay that, then you can use your move here to destroy those Snowfall, and also you can put the other 2 down below, because the way that it's going to act is if you're familiar with Magic, the way the stack works is that even if you destroy the first row, and it lays all those X's, then it's going to resolve the other rows that you're destroying and break those X's. So even though you lay those rows before the X's are there, they're still going to destroy it. Now, that's actually the one I'm going to show you, even though I do have a red here, because you're making a 6x1, which means, and you're only making a 5x1 red. So with a red on the extremity, you're normally much better off to lay your Snowfall here. But I already showed you that one, so I'm going to try with the other one. Now, I'm going to put it here. The downside here is that hopefully it's not going to have a wild card within those two black and create a cascade. All right, we're fine. It did not. Perfect. So now we're going to put the X breaks. And now we're going to break the X. Like I said, the first line is actually going to break the Snowfall, and then it's going to resolve the other two after those X's are on the board. So putting those two here, even if I don't even need to put the second really, just putting another one would be enough. But those are going to break the X's that will appear after the first one break. So a lot of people don't know that it works that way. You'll see. There you go. And the whole board goes poof. You can play it both ways. Obviously, the way I just did, while it does help you to get a sixth line of X's, it is a lot more tricky, because if you get a cascade on that very first time you lay those reds, it can screw you for one turn. So it is a little more riskier, and you can try to get a little more damage. But as we saw, we're not really getting that more damage. I would probably still run it kind of like the last one we saw. All right, let's try now with a submission. All right, last moveset we're gonna have a look at is the one with the submission. It is the cervical clutch 7MP purple move. Color submission, place 8 sub gem and do 143.7k damage for 3 turns. All sub gems are on the gem board. Submission gem turn into red gem. We keep using the sidewalk slam, which is 7MP yellow move, deal 198.7k damage, and choose a 6x1 area to make into Snowfall gems, which will modify all gems below it into X break gems when broken by you. And the leaping elbow drop 7MP yellow move, deal 188k damage, and choose a 5x1 area to swap into reds. Now for that, we're going to be using double MP trainer with Woods and Kofi. We are going to keep Almas for the extra 100% damage for X break, and Santa just for the 22 flat damage of all color. Also to note, this is probably not going to work in a feud setup for the simple reason that the move costs are 7 across the board. Given 4 from those two, you get an extra 1 from the first turn. That means you would start with 5. A 6, actually it would work on a feud setup, because you get 4 from the trainers, 2 from the first turn and the +1 from the feud perks, and 1 from Santa Ogun, so you would have 7. So yeah, that would work on a feud setup. I kind of forgot the 1 from Santa here. So yeah, we'll give that a shot. For that though, whoops, I kind of clicked the wrong place. Let's go back. We are going to switch the plate, and we're going to put back the all art plate. Now we're not going to get the extra 100% from putting those X. But we are still going to get 100%. For the purple and greens here. Although I'm kind of better off keeping the X, because that way they're all getting 100%, which is better. Well, let's just say it's an option for you then, because yeah, I'm better off keeping the break, because then all the X's are going to be 100%, as opposed as if I take the all art, only the greens and the purple will be 100%. It is a pretty good second option if you don't have the break, because obviously the braid is much rarer than the all art. So we're going to keep the braid for this. It's better than the all art. It's going to affect a lot more gems. So here you pretty much have the choice. You can go with your submission right away, especially if you know it's a character that's going to be ready on the first turn. You're probably better off going with the submission first, playing safe. Or you could go with right away the yellow. Now, if you don't plan on going with the submission right away, you probably don't need to put wood as a trainer, and you could just put back Honky Tonk Man, because you're most likely going to get enough purples just from blowing the whole board also. In this case, he does have a move that gets ready on the first turn, the green move, which then in turn, when he activates that green move, it fills his black, and then he can go with have all 3 moves ready on his first turn. So we are going to play the submission. Let's get some damage out of it too. And keep 1 here. That way is going to prevent him from being ready on his turn, and we're not going to be in a hurry to get going on our end. Now, especially if you use the all art. If you use the all art, you definitely want to go with the submission first, because obviously that's going to proc the all art, and then you're going to hit for a lot more. Now we're going to lay down our Snowfalls. I'll make sure to spot a place where you're going to have a gem match, because you want to break those. Put it there. And now we're going to do our swap. Whole board is down. 1.5 mil, he barely has any health, he's not going to get out of that. And so he does have multiple moveset, they all pretty much account to the same amount of damage or so, different play styles. I'd say probably the first one is probably my least favorite. Others probably liked similar. I kind of like to have a submission in the mix because it does give you more option and it's a bit safer, especially for longer fights and everything. Now let's have a look at his 6-star move though. So it's a purple move. Now unfortunately it's not yet on the portal, so I don't exactly know. But it does damage and it forces your opponent to skip their turn for 1 turn. Now I don't know if it goes up to more than 1 turn at higher level. That could be pretty useful. Like you could even use that with both yellows really. So I mean it depends how it's scaled, but skip turns are normally pretty good. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Veer. Pretty good character, not by any stretch an OP character though. As you saw, we had like 2.5 mils and stuff like that. So I mean, he pretty much suffers from the fact that there's just so many great powerhouse in the game right now that he pretty much gets lost in the shuffle. So I guess that's the story of his life with his career on TV as well. So that's pretty much it for Veer. So thanks for watching, guys. If you're not already a sub, make sure to do so to be kept aware when I post new stuff. Have any questions, ask them. And if you like the video, leave a like and share. See you guys. G out. Ciao.